It's the month of October, and you know what that means? Trick-or-treating and dressing up in a costume and reading stories about Halloween. Today, I'm going to read a book called At the Old Haunted House by Helen Kettmann, illustrated by Nate Ragg. In this book, you'll find 2 witches, 3 monsters, 4 black cats, 5 goblins, 6 werewolves, 7 vampires, 8 bats, 9 ghosts, 10 mummies, and 11 spiders. At the old haunted house, in a room with no sun, lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy one. "Spell!" cried the witch. "Poof!" cried the one. And they both practiced spells in the room with no sun. At the old haunted house where a cold draft blew, lived a big monster and her wee monsters too. "Stir!" cried the ma. "We stir!" cried the 2, and they whirred and they stirred while the cold draft blew. By the old haunted house in the dead hollow tree lived a scrawny black cat and her wee kittens 3. "Scratch!" cried the mother. "Meow!" cried the 3, and they scratched and they growled in the dead hollow tree. At the old haunted house with the squeaky old floor lived a green paw goblin and his wee goblins 4. "Dust!" called the paw. "We dust!" said the 4, and they spread lots of dust on the squeaky old floor. At the old haunted house where scary things jive lived a ma werewolf and her wee wolves 5. "How!" cried the ma. "Ow!" wailed the 5, and they yowled and they howled where scary things jive. In the old haunted house, in a vault made of bricks, lived a papa vampire and his little vamp 6. "Show fangs!" Papa cried. "Hiss!" went the 6, and they snarled and they shrieked in the vault made of bricks. At the old haunted house, teaching a lesson with a hairy mom bat and her bitty bat 7. "Dip dive!" cried the mom. "Flip flap!" went the 7, and they dipped and they dove in their dip diving lesson. By the old haunted house near the graveyard gate lived a spooky dad ghost and his wee ghosties 8. "Hunt!" cried the dad. "Boo!" cried the 8, and they booed and they floated through the graveyard gate. At the old haunted house, half covered with vines, lived a mommy and her wee mummies 9. "Mix!" cried the mommy. "We mix!" cried the 9, and they stirred and they mixed in the house with the vines. At the old haunted house, in the dusty old den, lived a fat ma spider and her wee spiders 10. "Spin!" called the ma. "Weave ho!" said the 10, and they spun sticky webs in the dusty old den. At the old haunted house, the front door creaked. "Trick or treat!" yelled the children. The ghosts shrieked, "Eek!" "Come in!" called mummy. The monsters made stew. The mummies made cake. The witches zapped brew. The creatures all grinned as they struck up the band, and the spiders all swung on sticky web strands. The ghosties floated as the music played. Black cats scratched and werewolves bayed. The vampire band played music all night, and they all had fun at the Halloween fright. Happy Halloween! If you would leave me a treat, hit that like and subscribe button. See you next time.